This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You horn tootin'. What's happening, fellas?
Good morning. What's new in your life down in Florida, Tom?
I don't know, just hanging out. I've been traveling a lot, and I want to kind of settle in, and I don't know, whatever. It'll be fine. Everything will work out fine. You know what I'm saying? I do not have the problem that most Americans have. Apparently, about 99% of America now is mentally ill, and therefore the world, I suppose, because we are world leaders. So, do you see the story about Ventura County, California? Woman got in an argument with her boyfriend.
This can go a number of ways. I'm excited to hear.
Yeah.
What have I been telling people for about 50 years now? Our public school system and our college system is totally destroyed by psychopaths. They've destroyed the place. And I would say the same thing for the legal profession. These judges are crazy now. Family members of a man stabbed to death by a Ventura County woman during an episode of cannabis-induced psychosis. Now, when I take cannabis, it makes me fall asleep. Is there a specific kind of cannabis that drives you into psychosis?
Do we have like an official toxin report? Was it only cannabis?
Well,
mixed with other stuff? I feel like that should not be the reaction, right?
Right.
Oh, that's exactly right. But now I want the two of you to decide who's the psychopath here.
Okay.
Is it the woman or is it the judge? You ready?
Okay.
Family members of a man stabbed to death by a Ventura County woman during an episode of cannabis-induced psychosis in 2018 are outraged after a judge on Tuesday sentenced the woman. She stabbed him 108 times until he was dead long before the 108th time, I'm sure. But she stabbed him 108 times, murdering him. On Tuesday, the judge sentenced the woman to 2 years of probation.
What?
2 years of probation for stabbing someone to death because he said it wasn't her fault, it was the cannabis's fault.
Is that sentence not complete?
No, it's all there.
Probation after a prison term, or
Nope, no prison. The woman got 2 years of felony probation and 0 prison time. She massacres this. Didn't accidentally stab him or lunge one time. She stabbed him 108 times. Now, do you know anybody that went psychotic after hitting the geef?
No.
No.
And if they have an expert that said that this is the one case of marijuana ever causing somebody to be stabbing somebody 108 times, then I guess they know more than me, but that doesn't sound right. It sounds like this was the excuse we need to use in order to not put her in prison.
Well, how are they even testing this? Are they
exactly
to, prove that she's
right?
Are they just putting her in a room and they're like, all right, take the same exact thing and let's see how you react? And then okay, hey, she wanted to stab somebody again 108 times, so
yep.
I guess she's off the hook. What? That's insane.
Actually, I looked at her picture just now. She looks just like one of the salespeople over at the Q.
Oh boy,
I can't remember her name, but she looks just like her. But she was psychotic too, so maybe it's the looks. You think that might be what it is? The appearance?
Yeah, I just don't know how you get involuntary manslaughter after they're pretty cut and dry. 108 times, go to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200, but you get probation.
Now she's lucky she didn't go 109 or more, because after they really start ratcheting up the sentences. Let me tell you,
whole different deal. Family members of a man stabbed to death by a Ventura County woman during an episode of cannabis-induced psychosis in 2018 are outraged after a judge Tuesday sentenced the 32-year-old woman to 2 years of felony probation and no prison time. Thousand Oaks resident. Now, Thousand Oaks is a pretty hoity-toity neighborhood, isn't it? That's a pretty uppity neighborhood, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
It sounds nice. I'll tell you, it sounds
nice. It does sound nice anyway, exactly. Bryn Spezcher. Spuzzy. I don't know. Her name is Bryn, though. Was convicted of involuntary man. She stabbed him 108 times.
It seems voluntary.
That seems voluntary to me, yes. Last month, the killing of 26-year-old accountant Chad O'Melia So she's what, 46 and he's 26? Is that right? No, 32. She's 32 and he's 26. On May 27, 2018, the 32-year-old went to Amelia's apartment where they both took several hits from a bong filled with marijuana. Spectre experienced an adverse reaction from the marijuana, suffered from cannabis-induced psychotic disorder. I've never even heard of cannabis-induced psychotic disorder.
That
Have
is
you?
made up. That's I'm sorry.
That's about
That
as real
is-
as the Joe Mauer bilateral leg weakness.
Well, it's a good example. A good example right there.
A made up term.
I don't understand these judges now. Since when is it okay to bring your politics and your personal beliefs onto the bench? That is not your job for you to personally decide what happens. You need to follow the letter of the law because you're a judge, you asshole. It's not up to you. It's up to the law. Follow the letter of the law. She goes to prison, probably forever. Why would you want to let this psychopath run free anyway?
Yeah, like there has to be some sort of consequences, and it looks like she only had been dating this guy for a couple weeks.
Yes.
It's not like it was some
Correct.
long relationship where, there's some other things going on. Like I would assume that weed was not the reason that she stabbed him 108 times.
No
She might have been
way.
high while she did it, but it's not because like, oh, I took this bong hit and now where's the nearest knife? I got to kill.
Right. That's exactly right. I got to read one more line because here's what I hate about the media so much, and I'm talking about the print, on national radio, on national television. Mm-hmm. It depends on which political side you're on, and that's the way you're going to go. We can't just meet in the middle on anything anymore. Here is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. During that psychotic break, there's no proof, by the way, she had a psychotic break. She was just nuts anyway, right?
Yeah.
During that psychotic break, she stabbed Amelia multiple times, eventually killing him. She also stabbed herself repeatedly. That was when the cops came to get her. They don't mention that part. When she realized she was going to have to pay the price for what she did, she tried to kill herself. So, what are we going to do about our legal system, our education system? They are deeply and sadly broken. There is no question about that. Nobody has a conscience anymore. Mm-hmm. Nobody cares about anybody but themselves anymore. And that's sad.
Yeah. And the judge that gave this sentence out, I feel like should have to have a press conference. And
I agree.
Here's why we did it this way. Because there's what do you have to do to go to jail now? Like you murdered somebody. Exactly. Oh, I was high. Okay. 2 years probation.
And I feel like judges are open. It's not like they're referees in an NBA game or an NFL game.
Right.
Like as soon as the game is done, I'm back in the locker room. I'm a normal person. Don't talk to me. You don't need to know what's going on in my head. Like I feel like judges are more open to that. I've seen that more often. Yeah. Why is that not a more common thing? Like if it's requested, what's the mean? Like how are you getting to this decision? Mm-hmm. I think people are due an explanation.
They never ever in this story. He took into account her lack of a criminal record, her professional standing in the community, and that she did, in fact, suffer from severe psychosis at the time. How do they know that she did? How do they know she suffered from severe psychosis when she did it? Yeah. Right?
Right. And I'm sure if you interviewed a few of her exes, they'd probably be like, yeah, I'm not surprised she ended up stabbing somebody. Like there's probably somebody out there is like, yeah, was on a list.
Well, let me ask you a question because we got to go to the sports here. So if you found out that I hit the pipe and then stabbed somebody 108 times, you go, yeah, I saw that coming.
No. I would be like, I would say if you were like, oh yeah, he would have murdered somebody, I'd be like that makes sense, but he definitely wouldn't have smoked beforehand, or he wouldn't.
No, I just want to kill somebody. That's exactly right.
No.
So this sends a message to all of you psychopaths out there. You can do what the hell ever you want now because our legal system is severely broken.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And it looks like she kind of just threw on her best suit and cried in the courtroom.
Yep.
Got away with it from the pictures.
Yep. She was bawling up a storm in there, and once again. If I was going to go to prison for the rest of my life, I could probably bring a few tears to my eyes. Believe me. We really, America has got to wake up. This far left and far right garbage, I'm sick to death of it. Both you extremes are harming this country, maybe irreparably. Dial it back. Let's get back to being Democrats and Republicans, shall we? Not psychopaths on the left and psychopaths on the right. How about that?
Yeah.
Why not?
Works for me.
Yeah.
I like it. But hey, I've been both. I've been a Democrat, been a Republican. I'm right in the middle right now because I don't know which way to go. Because, it's not a real clear message out there for me. But, that's the way it goes. All right, we'll take a break. Be right back. Judd Zulgad will join us right after this. Hey, it's a new year. Why not treat yourself to a new gun from K&L Surplus and Ammo? Yeah, you went right from talking about a woman stabbing somebody talking about guns. Now we're talking. I personally know Jim, the owner. He is a great guy. He's been in the firearms business for over 15 years and knows how to set you up with the perfect firearm for your needs. K&L offers one of the widest selections of firearms in the region, including Beretta shotguns and Tikka rifles. High school trap teams are starting to form now, and K&L has a great selection of SKB shotguns. K&L has Tikka and SKB, both in right and left-hand models. What do you think of that action? K&L also has a broad range of ammunition, including both American and European calibers. If you have a collection of guns that you'd like to sell, call Jim at K&L so he can help you get the best price through his network. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Yeah, baby. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, your legal issues, banking, and more. Same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. You'll be glad you did. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security and investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk, of course. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I'm Tom Barnard, and I'm a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, I looked up and I saw Judd Zulgad. He's there, and I'm just so happy for you that you are in your home studio. You're not in, and of course you got Tevin and AJ in Studio A, and then I'm in Studio B. I'm just glad you're not here because I just had a couple of hits off of bong, so I was going to stab you 108 times. What do you think?
That's why I'm a long ways away. That's why I don't leave home now.
I don't even leave home. Did you hear that story?
Home. No.
Woman stabbed a guy 108 times and got 0 prison time because it was a psychotic reaction to the marijuana she had smoked.
Yes.
Excuse me?
I found another article, Tom, on the.
Oh, you did? You did?
And some of the quotes from where they're trying to say, they're considering her to be unconscious when she was stabbing him. Apparently, it was not only 108 times, but it was multiple different knives as well.
Oh!
So, yeah, but they said she didn't intend to kill him. It's a death by stabbing, not a murder.
108 times she stabbed him.
Yes.
And it wasn't intentional.
No, they don't believe so. No.
Okay. Judd, I got to leave for the rest of my life. I'm never coming back. But this woman got probation, Judd, for killing a guy by stabbing him 108 times.
And apparently, she's been quoted as saying to being have hearing voices in her head as well.
What state was this in?
California. Does that surprise you?
Okay.
So don't worry, nobody local.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, this wasn't like Blaine, right?
It wasn't in Blaine, was it?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
right. I got to go up to the TPC this year, so I hope it wasn't in. Yeah, it was in Ventura County, California, and she got 2 years probation.
See, I was going to say, if this had been Florida, I wouldn't have been shocked.
No.
Yeah, no, not as much, but yeah, that's incredible. That must have been one heck of a trial.
Oh, you mean the behavior is Floridian?
Yeah,
yes, I would agree with that.
It's, it's Florida man or / woman. You see these stories in Florida, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, it's Florida, but yeah, that's awful.
Well, again, I mean, if it did happen in Florida, which I'm sure has happened several times in Florida, they would go to prison in Florida. That's the big difference. He would not get probation.
Well, I would hope that if you stabbed a person 108 times, you ordinarily wouldn't get probation.
Can you believe how much worse can it get with this far right, far left bullshit that you and I have to deal with on a daily? These psychopaths on both sides of any issue, you people are nuts. Shut up. How about that?
So I got to ask, was this a trial by jury or was this a
judge?
A decision from the bench? Okay. All right.
Judge made the call. Said, oh, this poor woman feels terrible about what she did. Now, again, Judd, I take marijuana every day. It puts me to sleep, and then I wake up the next day. I don't feel like killing any. I feel very relaxed, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought marijuana was supposed to do the opposite of make you super aggressive and want to stab someone more than 100 times.
Well, I've only been doing it for about 55 years now, and I've never stabbed anybody. Well, wait a minute. Let me get back to you.
Do you remember?
No,
Well, yeah, I was going to say, okay.
I was stabbed in my foot.
Ouch.
I was playing mumbly peg with a kid. You guys ever played mumbly peg?
No, but it's kind of like lawn darts, right?
Kind of. You literally, try to stretch the other guy's span of his feet out to the point where he falls over, and therefore you win. Unfortunately for me, when the guy threw the knife, it went right through the top of my left foot.
Oh,
thank you.
God.
Thank you, sir. That felt great. But such is life. Yes,
How many stitches for that?
I didn't get any stitches at all.
Really?
Hey, I grew up in North Minneapolis. Where are we going to get stitch money? That's what my mother would have said to me.
Rub some dirt on it.
Rub some dirt on it. You'll be just fine. But, what the hell? It all works out in the end. So, in any case, look, let me just make it clear, Judd, that if you want to stab one of us 108 times, hit the pipe, stab us, and then you'll walk free. You'll be good to go.
I just have no desire to work that hard.
That's a good take.
That's a lot. That's a lot of arm action. I feel like your arm would hurt for a couple of days after that.
I've never stabbed anybody. You guys ever stabbed anyone?
Ugh.
Nope.
No.
Can't say I have.
No.
I mean, I sometimes have a bitch cutting off a piece of steak. You know what I mean? I'm not that good with a knife. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
All right. Well,
plus I can't deal with that much blood.
There's a lot of blood. Yeah,
that's 108. That's a ton of blood.
Yeah, some blood coming out of that corpse. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
But now that we've brought you into a good mood by talking about a psychopath woman getting probation for killing someone by stabbing 108 times, let's talk some sports, shall we?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's happening, man?
The good news, Joe Mauer, as we talked about yesterday.
Yep.
He needed 75% of the vote. He got 76.1%, and he is going to go into the Hall of Fame. Induction is July 21st in Cooperstown.
I have a question for you. For the 24% who didn't vote for him, who did they want instead? Is it clear who they wanted to go instead of Mauer?
Well, I mean, I think there was 26 people on the ballot, and so it's your choice to vote for. I think you can vote up for as many as 10. And so it wasn't that they wanted someone in other than Joe as much as I think there was a certain faction that felt he didn't deserve to go in on the first ballot. and we talked about that. So it's a new thing. There's a new thing now where you can reveal your ballot, because it used to be pretty top secret. But if you want to, when you vote now, you can allow your ballot to be shown publicly or just take a picture. And I think a lot of the young voters do that, and they all thought, or not all, a lot of them thought that Joe should go in. The old crusty guard like us doesn't believe that yet, and so their ballots weren't as distributed and weren't as seen, and so a lot of those people are still on the train of, well, you shouldn't put a guy in on the first ballot, and so a lot of those folks didn't vote for Joe. So when we saw the public ballots come out originally, Tom, it was overwhelmingly that Joe was going to go in. Like it was the majority. But then it turned out that it was actually close. But yeah, so Todd Helton, Adrian Beltre, and Joe Mauer are your 3 Hall of Fame players.
So right there, I got to ask you, who the hell is Todd Helton?
He is a former career-long Colorado Rocky who actually the first part of his career was fantastic. The second part was not. But you know who else he was? He was the guy that that succeeded Peyton Manning as the quarterback at Tennessee in the late 90s. Yes, he was a quarterback. In fact, Mauer was a quarterback at Cretin, Durham Hall, and committed to Florida State, and then didn't go because he played baseball. So 2 of the 3 players who were going in the Baseball Hall of Fame were actually very, very good, either college or, in Mauer's case, a high school quarterback.
See, this is a good thing. Like I said, I don't know Joe Mauer. I said hello to him once. That's about it. I was a fan. I didn't see anybody else standing at the plate better than him, right?
Oh, for a catcher?
And for a catcher, yes.
3 batting titles. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes. Well, it's incredible because to this day, no other American League catcher has won a batting title.
I have a question for you. You guys ever tried to hit major league pitching?
No, I don't even think I would be able to stand in the batter's box and watch the curve. I'd be like, I'm going to get hit. That curveball is going to come hit me right in the face, and I'd duck out of the way.
Like even Kyle Hendricks for me is blowing it by. Like the 76 mile per hour changeup is right by me. So.
Yeah.
Thrill of my life. I get to stand in the batter's box. They gave me a Twins uniform to put on even and go out. And Ron Davis was on the mound. I do remember that. First pitch he threw was going to hit me right in the head, so I bailed out. The ball ended up outside.
Yep.
It was that scary. Let me put it that way. That ball was moving.
How did you get the opportunity to stand in the batter's box against the great RD?
Now, you might not know this, but some people think I'm a smart ass when I hop on the show and start talking about this guy, that guy, whatever. So TK, Ron Davis, a lot of other people. Hey, Tom, was it TK at the time, or it might have been, what's his name?
Ray Miller?
No, it wasn't Ray. Well, maybe it was Ray Miller.
Billy Gardner?
Billy Gardner. Oh, I liked Billy Gardner.
Who just passed away?
He did just pass away. But yeah, I had a uniform, the whole situation, walked out there, Ron Davis on the mound. And by the way, he did not throw the, 100 mile an hour, 95 mile an hour heat. He kind of lobbed the ball, I could tell, first of all, so he didn't kill me. But yeah, I bailed out like a sugar tit, and the ball ended up outside.
Sounds like
I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, you lived the real, what was that TV show, Pros versus Joes?
Oh, yeah.
Where they would get all the washed up players, and they would still just absolutely mop the floor with whatever guy that they brought out there.
Absolutely. What happened? He mopped the floor of the stadium. It was at the old dome. It was at the Metrodome. So that was, one other thing, to close that story. So then I went to the outfield just to screw around and do whatever. Guy hits a single right over second base. I'm in center field. So I go up to ground, field the grounder. By the time it got to me, it was a grounder. Went right under my glove. So it was a great experience all around.
Oh, at the Dome? I'm not surprised, man. A lot of players had that happen. That the original AstroTurf in that place.
Yep.
It was concrete, right?
It was concrete. There's no doubt about it. I just thought it would kind of roll up to me, and then it just kept hopping and hopping and hopping, and it went right under my glove.
You know, I would have been very concerned when it's cool that they gave you the opportunity, but what concerned me is when I saw Ron Davis on the mound, and considering that you are a smart ass, I think the last person on earth that I would want to face is a guy that you probably spent a lot of time ripping because he couldn't hold a lead.
Oh yeah. That's a possibility, Judd, that I might have been ripping him on the air a little bit, but he didn't hit me. He didn't even try to hit me. He just tried to make me look like a fool, and it worked perfectly. I looked like an absolute fool.
Maybe that's how bad he was. Maybe he did try to hit you and just threw him right.
There you go. Let me think about it that way. Actually, a really nice guy. RD was a very, very nice guy, to tell you the truth. But what an experience, man. We got some baseball coming, starting in about 3 weeks. Camp opens?
Yeah. In fact, this Saturday, it actually starts with some things on Friday, is Twins Fest.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then, spring training opens February 12th or something, I think, with pitchers and catchers. So, and eventually the Twins will have to make some moves, I would think, but who knows?
Yeah, is there anybody out there to get?
Oh, there's still guys out there to get. Yeah,
okay.
The offseason as a whole has been extremely slow, and so, yes, there's definitely guys to get, but the Twins, and we've talked about this, because their TV deal remains an unknown, and they're not alone in this, are cutting back. So their payroll is trimmed way down. It's too bad, too, because to go back to the fall, the excitement, right, about this team, they finally won a playoff game. It felt, that series where they beat the Blue Jays in the playoffs, Target Field, as you can attest, Tom, was just absolutely rocking. It was great.
It was amazing. Yep, it was unbelievable.
And so it feels like the momentum has been lost, which is a shame, but that's just the case.
It is the case, unfortunately. We every year, and I know the Twins were not very good last year and whatever, but every year you get to that late January situation, and you realize, well, wait a minute, if spring training is going to start in 3 weeks, then it's only another 4 or 5 months of snow before we get summertime. Other than that,
it's right around the corner, right? So summertime, June, it's coming up.
Yeah, that's pretty much how. Well, let's go June 20th too. Not even June 1st, but it's about the first 3 weeks in June are usually not that great either. Last week in June is when it gets nice.
And what makes no sense, look at their schedule. In April again, they are home a ton. The Twins are. It makes no sense.
Are they really?
Yes, including the Dodgers. So Ohtani and that high-powered Dodger team, which if you brought them here in July, the place would probably be packed, right?
Yeah.
I think they're here in April, which they were the last time the Dodgers played here was April. It makes no sense.
We got to go, so I want you to name your favorite Dodger of all time, because mine's going to be a surprise to you. Do you have a favorite Dodger of all time?
Oh, God, there's so many great Dodgers. Well, I mean, to go back to Brooklyn, it would be Jackie.
Yeah, absolutely.
My favorite LA Dodger of all time, you know what? I didn't see him play, and his career got cut short. Koufax.
Koufax was phenomenal. I got to interview him one time, and he was just a great guy.
Well,
really
awesome.
Good guy. Tevin, what do you got?
I was going to say, Judd, do you know do you have any early inclination on what's going to happen with the barn over on the U of M? I know recently that's gotten a little bit of steam on kind of, are they going to potentially replace it, renovate it, or anything like that?
That's your favorite player in the major leagues, really?
Oh, no. I thought you were just saying a general question. I don't have a general favorite Dodger.
Do you pay attention ever? Do you ever pay attention?
Just saying, in general.
You're a disaster.
I don't know. Tom's Sammy Koufax, Bernie, whoever.
Nice try.
Bernie, whoever. Bernie Brewer.
I ask you, who's your favorite baseball player of all time? Well, I kind of like the barn because it's a great. I was like, what the hell? I'm not even going to ask you, AJ. It'll only get worse.
I would give me Ralph Kiner, maybe.
Ralph Kiner, okay.
My favorite Dodgers. What's going on here?
No, who am I thinking of then?
Jesus. Judd, I have to put up with this for an hour and a half. You only have to do it for 20 minutes. You see what I'm saying?
Who am I thinking?
So,
whatever.
So who's yours, Bert? Who's yours, Tom?
Okay, we'll close with it because mine's a good one. It's the best LA Dodger of all time, Herman Munster. Remember that?
Wait, hold on a second. If Herman Munster's one for you, where's Mr. Ed?
Yeah, it's true. Mr. Ed was great too. You're right.
Because Mr. Ed played a game as well.
That's exactly.
And he slid into home plate, which is one of the most incredible feats I've ever seen for a horse.
Yeah, he did. I remember that. I used to love Mr. Ed. I loved that show.
I was thinking of Duke Snider. Okay.
Oh, Duke Snider. That's a good player.
And actually, my favorite Dodger is that kid that pitched it underhand with his mom in attendance in that one movie.
That's Harry Rowengartner, and that's the Cubs. Damn.
Oh my God! You might go home. We're gonna get you scheduled for a brain scan.
Got gray and blue uniforms.
We gotta end the set.
AJ, you're the chief engineer. Call the psycho ward and get a little brain scan today.
Tevin's in a timeout the rest.
You know what, guys?
He took him off the.
Oh, you took him off the screen? Well, you put him in timeout. That's very impressive. That's very impressive.
All right, Judd, thank you very much. AJ, thank you, and I hope Tevin gets out of the psych ward one of these days.
We'll be better tomorrow.
No, you won't. Believe me.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you later.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, Judd. Thank you very much. We'll take a break, be right back, and we'll have Chris Egert F things up. It's his turn next. It'll be wonderful. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all of your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. Take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb. They got dog beds, blankets, couch pillows. They have so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit BialkeLaw.com. That's BIALKE Law.com.
You know. Let's take a second to talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. I did say my bank because Bilski's one of my best friends, and therefore I get to say it's my bank even though it's not. You've heard me talking about them for a long time now. When they opened in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker and they know you. Well, a lot has changed since 1998. This commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities has not. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my bankers at North American Banking Company? Go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You damn right it is, ladies and gentlemen. And as soon as he finishes his breakfast, I'll bring Chris Egert in here. What are you chewing on, pal?
You really want to know?
No, I really don't. Oh my God, I love peanut M&Ms.
Yes.
Now we're talking.
I never. It's a bit. That's like a once a year thing. But I was hungry, and I felt like if it had peanut in it, it's kind of healthy.
Yeah, that's how I got to how I am. So.
What, mentally ill?
And very overweight.
Oh, settle down.
You're not overweight, AJ.
Oh, I wear baggy clothes. My
Remember the great blues singer who said, "I ain't built for comfort. I ain't built for speed." One of the greatest songs of all time. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. You know, when I go on the road, and I told you this before, doesn't matter where I am in the United States, I have the KSTP app on my phone, which I can then put up on the TV in the room. I watch Channel 5 no matter where I am in America. I watch Channel 5. Because I'm that loyal.
You'd be a good person to be in one of our promotions for our mobile platforms.
I should do that.
What would it take for you to, how much would it take? What kind of, like, how big of a check would we have to write to you to go, yeah, I'll do that?
How much is Elon Musk worth?
Well.
He goes, well.
Listen, the industry's doing fine. I'm not sure we've quite got that much money.
Yeah, but maybe not.
$20,000
for what?
To just cut one spot. I'm jumping.
Okay, works for me. Get a hold of. Who's your boss, by the way? I mean, I know Ginny Hubbard is of all of us. I don't really have a boss because I can't call
Hubbard
Ginny.
Is my boss.
Oh, that's right. Rob runs the TV department, doesn't he? Rob's a good guy.
Yes,
I haven't seen Rob in a while, but Ginny, like I said, I've known her since she was 8 years old, so I have a real hard time saying, yeah, Ginny's my boss, because she really isn't, but she kind of is.
Well, you have your relationship's a little bit different.
It is, yes. Yeah, you don't want, nobody wants to come in and go, Tom, as your immediate. I actually had a guy say this to me once. Tom, as your immediate superior, I said, don't ever say that to me again, ever. I'm your superior. Hey, AJ, as your immediate superior, I'd like to say, like, why would you say that to someone?
Well, you know, when this sentence starts like that, there's going to be like something. When they've got to drop that right off the bat.
Yep.
Yeah, you're like, oh, God, here we go.
Here we go. I'm going to be chirped at for about a half an hour and all works out in the end.
Right.
So, yeah, Rob, I haven't seen Rob in a while. Good guy.
Yep. It's a good family to work for.
No question. What do you mean? Just because they're not $17 billion in debt like everybody else?
Hey, family owned. That's nice. That's a very good thing.
I agree with you 100%. So we already covered the story, so you can't cover this story. It's about the woman who hit the geef, hit the pipe a couple times and stabbed her boyfriend 108 times.
It happened.
Did you do that story?
It happened.
You know, they gave her probation. Did you hear that part of it?
I did not.
She stabbed her boyfriend 108 times, killing him, and the judge said, oh, it was the pot that caused that. Put her on 2 years probation for murder.
Yikes, where was that?
In Ventura County, California.
Oh, wow.
I am so happy. I was offered a job to do a morning show in L.A. That probably would have lasted about a week. Don't you think?
Yeah, I've never lived, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool to try it, but I do think that there'd be some things about living there that one would have to acclimate to.
Well, again, I was either going to move to L.A. or to New York. I ended up moving to New York because my first time getting in a cab, first time ever in New York City, I get in the cab, I read the name on the dashboard, and his name was like, I don't know, Fortunata or some damn name. I don't know what the hell his name was. So I said, hey, Fortunata, how you doing? And he goes, familiarity breeds contempt. I love that about New York. I really do. Familiarity, okay? That's what breeds contempt.
Nice to meet you too, sir.
No question. So what is in the news locally? Now we have 108 stab wounds and a guy's dead, but she gets probation. So let's finish that story. We're good there. What else is happening?
There's a house fire in Cedar Riverside this morning that we're on the scene of right now, and 2 firefighters were injured. So we're hearing they were transported. We don't think their injuries are serious, but it was a dumpster fire, and the dumpster fire spread to the house, and the house caught fire. And we do know that 2 firefighters were in there. And again, seemingly from the outside, it kind of looked like a standardish sort of house fire situation, but I don't think there's anything standard when you're a firefighter and you're going in those kinds of deals. Hopefully they're okay. We've got a crew who actually just got there a little bit ago to interview the fire officials and stuff about it. So that's one of the things we had. And then the other thing we had today is your Southwest Light Rail project is going to cost some more money.
Oh, hard to believe. Didn't you predict that like 9 months ago?
I did. What did we need to do now? Hennepin County has now agreed to put another $100 million.
Oh God.
Just $100 million.
But Chris, that thing's been sitting there for what, 6 years, something like that?
I lost track of how long ago it was even supposed to be done already.
I just don't get it. I don't understand at all. What is the upside of that having that thing sitting there, and then now you're going to start another area up?
That's a whole nother story, which I do think the public appetite for laying down another line is going to be. How could it not be pretty impacted by just looking at what happened with the Southwest Light Rail and going,
right.
Do we really want to start this? The idea is to build another line up through North Minneapolis and sort of out towards the northern and northwest suburbs. Mm-hmm. But I mean, anybody who's going to be an opponent of it will go, well, gosh, you really, you guys really want to get into this?
I don't. And plus the fact, look, I was not born in North Minneapolis, but I grew up there from the time I was like 4 years old. Do you think to this day that I would get on a light rail train in North Minneapolis and go up to Brooklyn Center? Do you think I'd do that? No.
Well, you won't get on. You won't get on one now because it doesn't exist.
Because it doesn't exist, exactly.
It's although I do, I guess to play devil's advocate, and this is probably, I would say probably the attainment of right of way and certain things through North Minneapolis. Just knowing government, the way it works, might be a little bit easier because of the location.
Yeah.
Because they'd be spending less money on clearing right away than perhaps they were through the area through the southwest suburbs. That makes sense.
Are they going to be smart enough to put law enforcement on those trains? They're going to need it. There's no question about that.
Well, there's already, it's kind of in fact, I saw some fellers yesterday all getting off there, and I think they held like this little like outfit kind of thing on. I don't think they weren't officers, but they were some kind of like patrol. I know there's patrols that are on there more often. They're trying, but I think they're trying to walk that line of not having it feel.
The next time you get pulled over by the police, I want you to do me a favor and record it for me. When the cop is walking up to your window of your car as he's pulled you over, when he gets there, I want you to roll the window down and go, "Hey, nice outfit."
Well, it wasn't a police officer. I'll put it that way.
Okay, it wasn't.
Like
all right.
They were like dressed like they all had like red little outfits on, and I can't have any other way to describe it. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they weren't patrol. Maybe they were just three random people who were dressed in little red uniforms who were happy to be walking on the. But I just saw him out here at the TV station yesterday, and I was like, "Is that the people who are patrolling the light rail?" I don't know.
Well, they probably are. Well, they have to. It's you cannot leave people to their own devices because they will never do the right thing. That's just a fact.
Well, and Metro Transit knows that, and they're hearing that from people. And I know they need to do something. I just think they're trying to walk that line of what. Yeah. What doesn't feel like it's too much. And I mean, politics in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Good luck with that.
Yep. Good luck with that. There's no question about it, ladies and gentlemen. So everything else is good. You're happy.
You know what? Never been happier, Tom. I got a half a bag of peanut M&Ms over here, just calling my name.
All right. Get the hell off the show and eat your peanut. I love peanut M&Ms, by the way. Oh, so God, I hate you.
So good.
I love the other ones too, M&Ms and peanut M&Ms. I love them both.
I could go the other. I could live with the rest of my life without having the regular M&Ms.
Big baby. Oh, look Reese's, at all of you.
Reese's, the little Reese's things though. That's a whole nother story.
Oh yeah.
Get away from me, all of you.
All right, you guys have a good rest of your day.
Talk to you later, Chris. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. 952-925-5608. Chris Egert, one of my favorites. Is that true that you guys don't like plain M&Ms either?
I would say it's not that I don't like them. It's just they are never going to be like my first or second or third or fourth or maybe even fifth choice.
Yeah.
Like, give me like the peanut butter ones over them. Give me like the pretzel ones over them. Give me the like they've got so many options on like even like caramel one or whatever. Like
even they had the what was it, brownie stuffed M&Ms once that were around. Those were super good.
I wasn't familiar.
Yeah. Oh, there. I'll teach you some stuff.
Listen to both of you guys. Hey, Tom, next time you come in, would you bring some peppermint patties? You sugar tits.
Keep the peppermint patties.
Yeah.
Please don't bring. Very quick, because I know we have to go to break to get to Dave Bialke. But do you guys like the peppermint flavored candies and stuff like that? Not like the hard you suck on it like a breath mint, but like a soft one, like a York peppermint thing. I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's okay. I understand how you might not like it. I could do it. Not my favorite. No, okay. You're absolutely right. What the hell? We got to take a break here, don't we?
We do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take a break. Be right back. Dave Bialke will join us right after this, ladies and gentlemen. Every New Year is a chance for a fresh start, and the most profitable start you can make in 2024 is to take advantage of the business opportunities in Sioux Falls. Make 2024 your year to discover the benefits of Sioux Falls. I got to reach out to these guys, as a matter of fact, because as I said, Catherine and I are looking to maybe buy a cabin in Sioux Falls, so I got to have them send me some stuff. We're hearing from Minnesota companies considering expanding or relocating to the Sioux Falls area. Minnesota business people are excited about our short commutes, safe streets, quality of life excellence. We've got the details at SiouxFallsDevelopment.com. In Sioux Falls, you'll discover a friendly, pro-business attitude along with a productive, growing workforce. No personal or corporate state income tax, low workers' comp rates, and a lot less red tape. We've got great people, affordable buildings, and sites ready and waiting for your expansion plans. It's an easy decision once you look at the advantages. 2024 is the time to make your move to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
Tom here, and I want to discuss a partnership that has been wonderful in my life, Zero Res Carpet Care. Very good friends of mine. Nothing is better to someone with a family than having a completely clean home. Your carpet is the biggest filter in your house. If you want to talk about pet dander or foot traffic, dirt from the outside, they all eventually reside in your carpet. So, Zero Res Carpet Care. Listen, around the holidays, you need to contact ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZEROREZ. That's 952-ZERO-RES. They clean your home with their electrolyzed pH-elevated water that doesn't use chemicals or soaps that smell like a janitor's closet like other cleaning services. How about a Tom Barnard deal? Well, here it is. Get 3 rooms, zero resified, starting at $129, and don't forget your air ducts. Mention me, and they'll discount your air vents by $75 too. This is for the entire month, so call them right now, 952-0-RES, backward or forward, spells the same, or book online, ZeroResMinnesota.com. If it's available, ask for them to come to your place in the Tom Barnard named service truck. What an honor that was, by the way. Just mention me by name and get the special deal to get your home clean and your heart happy. Zero Res Carpet. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You are indeed. That was me playing the guitar right there. Did I ever tell you that?
Yeah, you got some skills, man. Right? Let me tell you.
Just give lessons.
I would love to learn how to play the guitar. I cannot play a guitar. I can strum, but I can't play a guitar. Like those guys, One thing about Leonard Skinner, I always loved their guitar work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The guitar, that's like the epitome of kind of coolness as far as music and rock and roll, like to be in a huge stadium and you're just, yeah.
When I was in Take Five, I was a drummer for Take Five, a band. Greg Laurent was in it. Had Mike Sykes, a bunch of really good people. Ralph Marcello. And every time we made an appearance, we'd do the set. And then after the set, I'd walk off, go out into the crowd. And they go, "Are you in one of the bands?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." "Which band?" I said, "Take Five." "Oh, really? What do you play?" I said, "I'm a drummer." "Oh, okay." Drummers are always looked down upon by skilled performers, apparently, I guess. It's a lot harder to play a guitar than it is to play the drums. You can fake playing the drums, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
it's just the way it is.
I'll take the drums over anything else, I think, personally. I like the drums. They're cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Jimi Hendrix playing the guitar, and you'd rather be a drummer.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
God, he could play. He could play, though, man. That's all I'm saying. Is Dave ready to go?
Yes.
Dave, do you play an instrument of any kind?
I do not. I have very little musical talent, but I do enjoy music.
Mm-hmm.
I love a good guitarist, and my favorite is a guitarist that can go back and forth between a electric guitar and an acoustic guitar. Like Jimmy Page did that just better than anyone.
Oh, God, yeah. Jimmy Page was amazing. Great guy, too. On the phone, joining us now live, Dave Bialke, brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work, Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Call 763-571-2410 or go to BIALKElaw.com. Tell them Tom sent you. Dave, let me ask you a question about this, because I've had people come up because they've heard these spots, and they go, my cousin got hurt this, they got hurt that. Well, do people sometimes when they get hurt at work, do they underplay their injuries and maybe not? I guess the best way to put it is get what's coming to them, the help they need to recover from their injuries or what. Why are people sometimes reluctant to reach out and say, I should be compensated for this because it wasn't my fault? Is it hard for people to do?
It's not just sometimes; it's frequently, if not most of the time.
Yep.
Especially if someone's been at a job for a while and they think, "Oh God, I don't want to irritate my employer," or they think I'm faking it, whatever. They just downplay it. They should go and get some medical care, but they hold off doing it. And then down the road, when they finally say, "God, my back's killing me," and they go there and they say, "You got a herniated disc in your back," and then by then, there's time that has passed, and the insurance company says, "Well, we think it's due to this, back injury he had back in 2007," and then deny the claim, and that's how they get to me. I mean, it's you open up any of my files, you're going to see close to half of them are because of someone delaying their treatment or reporting the injury, because then there's statute of limitations issues, notice issues, those type of things. So, it's easy for me to say because I'm not the one who's worried about his job, or and it's not like people because they have a work injury. They just don't want the boss thinking, "Oh God, what's going on here?" So that's what happens. It's easy for me to say, but I tell people, report it immediately, even if you're not treating right away. Report it, and then things shake out. So.
I'm glad I asked you that question, because way back in the day, I guess it was probably the early 70s, something like that. I was not in radio yet. Those concrete pillars they have on 35W with the sound walls? They put the wood up between the big concrete pillars. Remember, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was one of the guys that built those, right? Our team built those situations. So what would happen is you would take 4 pieces of re-rod that are, those things got to be, 30 feet long or something, or 25 feet long. And you'd build a 4-corner cage and then put the stabilizers in the middle. And my job was to make sure that the re-rod got all the way through. Now, the reason I bring this up is both ends of re-rod. Re-rod is just a long metal rod, but it's got like webbing around it, metal webbing, so it'll hold on to the concrete better and all that. You would build the cage, 25-foot long cage, which is about 6 inches, probably more than that, 9 inches by 9 inches. And then when you put the stabilizers through, they would just take it and throw it through as fast as they could to try to get it to the other end. Well, one of my first days on the job, Uncle Tommy had his hand in the cage, and that thing sliced my hand open like there was no tomorrow. And the reason I even bring it up, Dave, is because I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, I got hurt at work, but it was my fault. But, I mean, that's not really the case, because I was a teenage boy, and I should have probably been told. Well, and of course, then after it happened, I guess the foreman of the crew came over and said, "I bet you'll never do that again." Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the warning. Why? Because the reason I'm asking you that, Dave, is because are people like me that, oh, you know what, I hurt myself, and it really wasn't, because I didn't shove the re-rod through while my hand was still in there. Why are we reluctant to maybe reach out sometimes and go, hey, you know what, I got hurt and I need to get this right?
Well, we are a fault-based society. We always looking for why did an accident or an injury occur. Mm-hmm. So that does run through people's minds, and it happens very frequently. But workers' comp is a no-fault system, meaning it doesn't matter whose fault it is, you get the same benefit structure. It doesn't matter if it's 100% the employer's fault or 100% the employee's fault, or usually somewhere in between. It doesn't matter. Under the law, you immediately get benefits. You know, again, it doesn't matter who's at fault or what proportion, whatever. And that's just because they came up with a law and they said, well, wait a minute, we don't want people who have work injuries waiting to get treatment and so forth while they're trying to figure out what fault it is. We're just going to make it a no-fault system. And that's what they did when they came up with the law 110 years ago.
You know, I really like talking to you about this, because looking back now, I literally took responsibility and said, you know what, even though I didn't grab the re-rod and shove it down the shaft at a high rate of speed, I had my hand in there and I should have paid more attention. But that's not the case, basically, because they should have been watching out for me, because they knew my hand was still in there and they did it anyway. You know, why do people like me want to go, oh, you know what, it's my fault, it didn't kill me, so I'll let it go. People should not let it go, because I could have gotten infected. Luckily, I didn't. But people do need to reach out, do they not?
Absolutely. But again, that's what your reaction was. Human nature. That's what people are conditioned to think that, oh, geez, I shouldn't have done that, or I was, running too fast to the other side of the building here to get this done, and I tripped and fell, whatever. And then they're always thinking I shouldn't have done that, which I understand where they're coming from, but the law that is the no-fault system. So even if it was 100% your fault, as long as it wasn't something there's certain affirmative defenses like intoxication and a couple others. Right. But those are extremely rare. Generally, even if it's your fault, the benefits are there. It's just as if someone was entirely the employer's fault or whatever, it's the same benefit structure.
And the thing about it is, let's say you got hurt at work, you call Dave Bialke. Dave's not going to say, oh, you know what, your injury's not that bad, go away. That's not how it works, right?
No, I want to talk to everyone, and if it is something that they do not need an attorney, that happens very frequently. I tell them, I give them a couple of pointers to look for, and I say, if these happen, give me a call back. But right now, you do not need an attorney. And I'm not one to jump in and muck things up so that so that people are disliking each other, whatever. That's just not the way I operate. I will tell you, you don't need an attorney right now. Here's what to do, and if these happen, call me. Otherwise, your injury will run its course, and we're all good.
Hey, can I sue my last job because they hurt my feelings? What do you think?
Possibly, but they'll probably say, well, it didn't aggravate a pre-existing condition. It's a problem for years and years from other causes and something like that.
And again, it's not one of those situations where like, oh, jump into it and blah, blah, blah. We're talking about a lot of people I know have gotten hurt at work and never did anything about it. That's not the prudent way to go. Just make sure you're covered. Reach out to a guy like Dave Bialke, and Dave will make sure you do or do not deserve compensation. If you do, we'll go to work for you. I've known Dave for a long, long time. So what's the number they reach out to you, Dave?
The number is 763-571-2410, 763-571-2410. And just to emphasize, I want to talk to everyone, even if it's just something you think, I need to talk to anyone. Give me a call, and I'll let you know. Then you know for sure that you don't need to talk to someone because I'm the one that can tell you.
And also, some people think that if you pick up the phone and call an attorney, they're going to charge you, but not until they take the case. You don't you're charged nothing, correct? Unless you take the case.
Absolutely. There's never a charge until I'm involved and I get a benefit for you.
There it is. All right, Pally, we will talk to you next week.
I just wanted to comment. You guys are talking about Andy being a drummer and so forth. You know what you call a drummer without a girlfriend, right?
What?
Homeless.
Well, really nice. Now I've been hurt at work by you. I'm going to call you to represent me against you. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I'll be right there for you, or wherever.
All right, works for. Thanks, Dave.
All right, have a good day, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Bialke brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work, Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Call 763-571-2410 or go to BIALKElaw.com. And by the way, I've known Dave for a long time, and I understand some people are reluctant. They think it's kind of scary reaching out to lawyers and, my God, this could be this and that. Don't worry about it. I've known Dave a long time. He'll do a great job for you, and you owe him nothing unless he takes the case. So it's not a problem. And be sure to tell him Tom sent you, okay? That'll work. Right?
Right, absolutely.
You know. We shall take a break. Be right back in a couple minutes. The continuation of the show. And, of course, in the next half hour, Kristyn Burtt will join us. Anything new you guys been watching on TV we should talk about?
Well, I know she wanted to talk about Alec Baldwin because he's. I guess,
that's right.
So she must have some sort of inside scoop, and we can dive into some TV shows as well.
Is he as big a prick as he seems?
He's got. I mean, he gives off the impression that he's one of the world's biggest pricks, but
he does.
I've never met him, so he could be a very nice guy.
Could be the nicest guy ever, but we doubt it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if I had to bet money, I would bet on somebody you don't want to hang out with.
All right. We'll be right back in a couple of seconds. More of the show right after this.
Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC has a mutiny on his hands. His sales crew said they've had it brooming snow off the new Buicks and GMCs, then warm them up, move them to plow, and repark them again. He even overheard them cooking up an alternative plan. A sale.
This is crazy. Why don't we just mark them down and sell them?
This is getting real old to be out on that lot in this sub-zero weather.
That's right. Everyone we sell is one less to broom. I heard we're supposed to get 6 more inches tomorrow.
I'm 5'6". How am I supposed to get the snow off the roof of a pickup?
I'm Jim Paul, and well, car dealers do have all kinds of crazy sales. This idea probably makes more sense than most. There's plenty of inventory, so okay, the crew has decided.
So then it's official. The We Don't Want to Broom snow sale is in full force at Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings. Snowy inventory priced real right at valleycardealers.com.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
All right, we're going to have to start pushing people down because they're getting way carried away again. We're going through all this flag crap in Minnesota. Just leave it alone, for God. That hideous thing that you came up with. It's the most boring flag in history. I mean, if you're from the Eastern Hemisphere, I understand you like that kind of crap, but this is America, for Christ's sake, right? Well, here's another one. Did you hear what PETA wants to do with Punxsutawney Phil?
Oh, boy, don't. Oh, no.
Punxsutawney Phil is the first day. That's what the first day of spring. Isn't that what he predicts?
Yeah,
Phil does.
he lets you know if it's going to be like, what, 4 weeks longer or not?
Right.
Which I feel like it always is longer. When's the last time it wasn't? But anyways, that's besides the point.
Well, no, it's not, because this is Minnesota. It's not beside the point at all. It's about, hey, look, Punxsutawney Phil, it'll be nice and warm here in about 12 months.
Yeah.
I'm not making this up. This is true. So our flag sucked, even though it showed a guy working and a Native American riding a horse, it honored Native Americans. I took it as honoring the Native Americans. I don't understand. Just leave the flag alone and get your head out of your ass. Well, now it's gotten even worse. PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, wants to replace Punxsutawney Phil with a giant gold coin. When the guy's holding, what is it, a groundhog? Is that what that is? Punxsutawney Phil?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like Phil is in pain?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks like they do like the little dog, like they get the fingers under the armpits, and I'm sure maybe that's not the most like comfortable, but they do that for about 3 minutes once a year.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And then they treat him like royalty the rest of the time. So like, what's the problem here?
Yeah. He and his family are well taken care of, I assume, year round. And if to replace him with a gold coin, that's not even close to the same concept. Like just say you want to just end Groundhog's Day. Say that, because we don't need to flip a coin, because that has no value whatsoever.
Okay, maybe I'm stupid, because I picture them just like rolling a coin on stage and being like, all right,
yeah,
but flipping a coin, that makes a lot more sense now.
The gold coin didn't see its shadow, so there's 4 more.
Just like googly eyes on that.
Yeah. So if the coin doesn't see its shadow, how would we know?
Yeah. What if we see the coin's shadow? Like
this makes
no
sense. How like. What like does it in what you're looking at, Tom, the article, does it say like what they want to do with the coin? Like, is there a gimmick, or is it literally just a coin that?
Okay, well, I think I'm glad you asked that question, because it's time to show the people what it's all about. We're about a week away from Groundhog Day, and PETA, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, already raising a stink about using real groundhogs to predict the weather. Yeah, because they suffer so mightily as they're to pretend predicting the weather, excuse me. They are again calling for Punxsutawney Phil to be retired, and now they're offering to replace him with a giant gold coin, which would be flipped, with one side calling for 6 more weeks of winter and an early spring on the other side. How boring is that? It's unclear if the coin actually exists yet, but in one PETA image, it looks bigger than Phil, maybe a couple of feet in diameter. That's a big coin, baby. Okay, so
I'm gonna get crushed by this thing.
Yeah, it might happen. That's true. Okay, so why a coin? Well, Punxsutawney Phil has been making predictions since 1886, and he's only been right about 39% of the time. So they argue we'd be better off with a coin. Get a life. How about that, actually? Why don't you go out and get laid? How about that? Go out and have sex, so you wouldn't have to worry about Punxsutawney Phil, for God's sake.
This is the worst injustice, PETA, that you can find for animal community. This is what we're going with.
It's just insane how it's gotten. That it looks to me like Punxsutawney Phil is pampered 365 days a year. lives this wonderful life, but somehow you're offended by that.
Yeah, they're offended. They're taking jobs away from hardworking groundhogs. It's really sad what PETA's doing.
Well, the thing about PETA too, I feel like I could actually like back them on some things because they do pick they pick some battles where I'm like, you know what, you guys are probably on the right side of history here. Like, you know, that like dairy farm was practicing like improper treatment of whatever. Like I
understand that. Absolutely.
But they just like lean way too hard into if they just let some stuff go like this or every Thanksgiving I see the same like cartoon drawing of like turkeys eating a cooked human or whatever. It's just like, we got to relax here, guys. If you just scaled it back and you fine pick, you nitpick the actual issues that you want, nobody would have a problem with you, but you're just lunatics that go way over, like you're way past the line here.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they've got like diehard PETA fans or supporters that they're all on board with stuff like this. And so they kind of float these stories out there to, stir the pot, get their name in the news, and I'm sure they get a lot of extra donations for whenever they do stuff like this.
Do these people have a sex life?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably with other members of PETA, I would assume.
You think? Maybe not. They might be too touchy. You never know. You never know. They might be very, very touchy about. I just don't understand. Punxsutawneyville looks very, very happy to me every time I see it. I don't know. It looks like it's well taken. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
We have a dog. His name is Judd. He's named after the song Hey Jude by the Beatles. Jude is 11 years old. He's a lovely, wonderful dog. We have one of those L-shaped couches where, you got the couch and then the other part comes down. Those L-shaped couches.
Sectional?
On the sectional, yes. So I sit on the far right end of it. Catherine sits right in the middle because she likes to put her feet up either one way or the other. And by one way or the other, I mean this. There are 3 different fluffy pads that we put on that couch because then Jude can make his choice where he wants to sit. And the reason we did that is because if it was in the wrong place, he would sit on the floor and stare at us like, let's go. He would not get on the couch unless it was in the right exact place. Now,
Buttercup, give me my pillow.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I'm saying. So do you think Jude's being treated well enough that we have to every night make sure that the Admiral gets to be on the cushion where he wants to be?
I think you probably are going to have to replace him with a giant gold coin.
Yeah,
like that
giant gold coin.
That's the only solution here because apparently that's the way to go.
Jude sounds like Jude lives a very rough life. There's
it's terrible.
So every once in a while, I'll put my dog has his own Netflix folder on my account because whenever we leave, sometimes we'll put a dog show on for him to watch if I'm going to be gone for an extended period of time. So there's one called Dogs on Netflix, and it's about the Butler Bulldog, which is a college. I think it's Butler. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere on the East Coast, probably. But anyway, they're the Bulldogs. They have a live Bulldog mascot. He has a dedicated team of like 3 people.
Yeah,
all day, every day, walk him, bathe him. He's doing his celebrity appearance. Dog lives a better life than I do. Like, how can I apply for this?
And we don't hear about that, do we?
Oh no, that doesn't get any news.
Look, I don't like it when people mistreat animals. I do not put up with it. But I see somebody mistreating an animal on the street since I was a little kid. I would not put up with that. I understand you don't want animals to be abused. And people, one time I actually saw a guy drop kick a cat, which was like, holy God, you psychopath. So, yes, I understand there are people that are very, very bad. Another person that I knew as a boy, you're driving down like a country road, not in the city generally, but once in a while there too, would go out of his way to run over a squirrel if it tried to cross in front of him. It was going to make it, but then he'd pull over and run over the squirrel just to prove his point, I guess. So, yes, I understand there are people out there who are nuts when it comes to animals, but most of us do not need a gold coin. The groundhog works, right?
The groundhog works. Also, the weatherman. He can tell me if it's going to be cold next week or not. Yeah. I'm good with whatever.
Hey, whatever. I do want people to treat animals ethically. I do. I absolutely do, because I've seen some very horrible things happen to animals. But wouldn't you say 99% of people are very good to their animals?
Yeah, I would say most of the time, but when it's bad, it definitely is really bad. I don't think the groundhog is the main case for animal cruelty in America.
No, I really don't. And that's, I guess, the way to close the story is, why don't you go out and really save animals instead of pissing around. Yeah, this poor groundhog has to be held for 60 seconds once a year. Oh, it's tough. There's no question. Why don't you focus on the animals who really don't deserve what they're getting? Because a lot of these meat producers, I guess, are not very nice to animals. Is that still true, or is that an old story?
I mean, it's an old story just because it's been going on for so long, but it's one that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Yeah, the treatment of animals, and you'd be shocked at how your hamburger got to your table.
Well, I think that might be true. So now we're going to go to a break. We're coming back with Kristyn Burtt, and I want you both to ask Kristyn, when's the last time you abused an animal? Just ask her that.
She would be the last person on earth I think no one ever abused an animal. I was like,
yes.
I think that for like if she's probably gone out of her way to like help an animal than anything else. Like there's no, I can't even picture Kristyn Burtt doing anything like if she accidentally like nudges her cat like walking through a doorway, it's like 5 minutes of apologies, I bet.
Yep. Yeah. Kristyn would put her jacket down so her cat wouldn't have to walk through like a puddle in the rain.
Absolutely.
One of the great videos of all time was on the news, I don't know, a few years ago, whatever. But this dog was so excited about chasing a squirrel, the dog chased it up a tree and ended up on a limb and couldn't figure out how to get down. He was so excited about getting the squirrel that he ran up it was one of those trees that kind of sits like this at an angle. Yep. Ran right up the tree, and he couldn't figure out how to get down again. See, that's ethical treatment of animals. Go up and get the puppy and bring him down, right?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll take a break, be right back. Kristyn Burtt will join us right after this.
Tom here, and I want to discuss a partnership that has been wonderful in my life, Zero Res Carpet Care. Very good friends of mine. Nothing is better to someone with a family than having a completely clean home. Your carpet is the biggest filter in your house. If you want to talk about pet dander or foot traffic, dirt from the outside, they all eventually reside in your carpet. So, Zero Res Carpet Care. Listen, around the holidays, you need to contact ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZEROREZ. That's 952-ZERO-RES. They clean your home with their electrolyzed pH-elevated water that doesn't use chemicals or soaps that smell like a janitor's closet like other cleaning services. How about a Tom Barnard deal? Well, here it is. Get 3 rooms, zero resified, starting at $129, and don't forget your air ducts. Mention me, and they'll discount your air vents by $75 too. This is for the entire month, so call them right now, 952-0-RES, backward or forwarded, spells the same, or book online, ZeroResMinnesota.com. If it's available, ask for them to come to your place in the Tom Barnard named service truck. What an honor that was, by the way. Just mention me by name and get the special deal to get your home clean and your heart happy. Zero Res Carpet Care. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Landon and Gavin Miller of D&B Plating.
I've always been impressed with their speed of answers to our questions, and that has allowed us to expand and capitalize on opportunities in the market.
North American Banking Company has never made us feel like a number. They've always treated us as a partner.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabanco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw & Bryant, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bielke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
If you'd like to find out more about growing your business with the Tom Barnard Show, go to TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner. This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We now, ladies and gentlemen, have 4 people. 3 of us are really good to animals. 1 is horrible. And her name is Kristyn Burtt.
No, that's not me.
Picking on your kitty all the time.
2 kitties.
2 kitties, that's right.
Yeah, and the big one who doesn't like to make an appearance on the Tom Barnard Show is, that's my cat. That's the one that is obsessed with me. If I'm walking around the house, he will follow me with his eyes. He'll follow me into the bathroom. Like, he really just wants me all to himself.
Is it a chow thing, you think?
Is it a what?
He just wants to be fed by you?
A food thing. No, it's honestly not. He's a lap kitty. So honestly, if he could be held and carried all day, he would. I was actually working in my closet earlier and I had my laptop up here and I was like holding him and typing with one hand. He will do that. He is my baby.
No question about it. We're just talking about people, the ethical treatment of animals. They want to replace Punxsutawney Phil with a giant gold coin.
I don't know. I mean,
it's a little stretch, don't you think?
I think it. I am sure that the gopher is okay.
No, see,
it's a groundhog. I don't even know what it is.
It's not a gopher. You abused Punxsutawney Phil by thinking he was a gopher.
Like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. It's
tomato.
It's a G animal.
Yeah. True. That's exactly right. So what's new, sister?
Well, yesterday I said we have to talk about Alec Baldwin. AJ's like, I was about to remind you.
I'm thinking about it. It locked in my head. So yeah, I'm glad.
Last night he's like, we gotta talk about Alec. It's so weird because we kind of started this show back in February last year talking about Alec because he had just been charged. And then somewhere like mid-year, we were like, oh, nope, they dropped the charges. Well, he is back in the case with Rust. This was the shooting of Helena Hutchins on the set of Rust in New Mexico. And the original reason the charges were dropped were because the trial was upcoming and the prosecutor said, we have too much research and investigation still yet to do. We can't do this. So they dropped the charges, but they said he should probably be aware that there will likely be charges yet to come. And here they are, involuntary manslaughter, which could get him a $5,000 fine and 18 months in jail. But the other curious thing to all of this is the fact that he is selling his properties big time. So financially, this is taking a huge hit. He sold his upstate New York home, and he is now desperately trying to sell his Amagansett, New York home, which is in the Hamptons.
Sure.
Now, he originally put it on the market for $29 million. I don't know what's happening to me.
$29.
My brain is like,
who's got change?
Anyone want to go in on this $29 10,000 square foot home? It originally was $29 million. They did a price cut a few months later. They took it off the market. It's back on the market. So now it's all the way down to just $19 million.
Really?
But he is desperately trying to get rid of it. And he did a video like, buy my house. This is where I used to own the house. This is what we've done to the house. This is the land of the house. This is the history. This is how I feel about it. He's like, it's the place that I absolutely love. You can tell, like, he desperately needs to sell it, but he desperately doesn't want to sell it.
Right. Boy, that's got to be tough to get. And this all happened because I still don't understand why they handed him a live gun anyway.
And that is the big question. So Hannah Gutierrez, who is the armor on the set, the armorer was the one who was responsible for making sure that there was no live ammunition. In fact, there should never be live ammunition on a movie set.
No.
And she hasn't been able to actually answer that for the prosecutors because they were like, hey, if you can tell us this, we'll give you lesser charges. And she wouldn't answer it. So now she's going to have to go through her trial. Yeah. And she's got additional charges added to all of this, and it's going to be a huge mess. But her trial will happen ahead of Alec Baldwin, so maybe her outcome will help Alec in the end.
Oh, you think so? She'll take a lot of the blame?
Well, she should, because ultimately she is the one responsible. I think the one thing when it comes to Alec, it's difficult because there are safety checks, and the actor still has a responsibility to do their safety checks before using that gun, and it doesn't seem like that happened. He's also an executive producer on this, so there should have been extra care taken. And from all reports that we've seen, it was a pretty sloppy set.
I gotta be honest with you, I did not grow up around guns. My father was not a hunter. Well, he was gone by the time I was 7 anyway, but he was not a hunter or anything like that. He didn't have a handgun. So I wasn't even around guns until I was like 12, 13 years old. But even I knew as a 12-year-old, you do not aim a gun at anyone ever. I mean, there was no reason for him to point that gun at her. I don't get it.
Well, they were doing a shot, so he was aiming to the side of the camera, so it would look like the camera was aimed, or the gun was aimed at the camera lens. But here's the thing, an actor is supposed to then check the gun before they use it and make sure that there isn't anything in there, and that didn't happen. So, and they were only doing a rehearsal. It wasn't even they were actually shooting at that moment. They were rehearsing that scene, and when all hell broke loose. I mean, really, it's such a horrific situation for anyone that was on that set. That was traumatic.
You know, I lost a friend over this. I don't know if you know that or not, but Danny Baldwin and I got along really, really well. Since that happened, I have not heard a word from him. I think the whole family is kind of wringing their hands over this deal. He didn't want to talk about it at all.
And maybe because the legal case is still pending.
Yeah.
You really don't want anything to get out. And we also have to remember, Alec Baldwin has 8 kids. Only one of them is an adult. The rest of them are all under the age of 10.
Ooh.
And he is not getting the Hollywood jobs that he used to. He lives in a $16 million apartment in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of overhead. They also have a smaller home in Vermont. But I can't imagine, like, it must be a fire sale, honestly. Just like, we got to, work lean and mean here because, and I can't imagine the kids are going to public school in Manhattan. They're probably going to private.
Here's what I don't understand is why. Now, first of all, you should have seen this coming because he's married to a complete psychopath. That woman is nuts.
Ilaria.
And now, we're supposed to be from like Hungary or something, and she's from Cleveland or what is it?
She told everyone she was Spanish. She is a white girl from Boston.
What is that?
It is literally like me saying my name is Christina, and
sounds good.
It's not. I mean, and the fact that she got away with it for so long is astonishing, and then she's still carrying on the whole farce. I mean, and she's literally like, these are the Baldwinitos.
Oh my God! See, I get away from me. Go away. See, if Catherine ever did that, it's like, honey, dial it back here. Relax. Doesn't he ever tell her, look, shut up?
He goes right along with it. He still calls her Ilaria. I mean, her name is Hillary. Her name is Hillary.
I'm going with Katerina the rest of the day. Katerina, how are you doing, Katerina?
AJ, what do we call you? We make it Spanish.
Adriano?
Adriano?
Yeah, my real name's Adrian, so just go Adriano or
Adriano. Tevenito.
Tevenito.
Tomas,
I like that one.
Tomas. I love
I
it.
thought you were going to go with pain in the ass for me, but you didn't. Thank you. Well. No, I just look. I mean, the Baldwin family. I've met all of them. Well, actually, I've never met Alec in person. I met the other ones in person. They're very nice guys. And they kind of do have this look. Whenever you bring up his name, they kind of go, yeah. you know?
Page Six for years called him the Bloviator because he used to just like scream and yell at the paparazzi and get into fights with them. And I mean, he's got a history. He definitely has a history here and a very talented actor at the same time. But it's weird, like how all of these crises and scandals kind of always cross his path.
Yeah. I mean, remember that one time about maybe 10 years ago, he was dropping the big N out in the street to a bunch of black people. Remember that?
I don't remember that one.
I don't remember this.
Don't you remember? Oh, I bet you could still find it. He keeps dropping the big N right in front of like 5, 6 black people. I think, what the hell is wrong with you? And they are so they're so kind of put off guard by it that they didn't even go over and beat the piss out of him. They're like, there's something wrong with this guy, man. He's not just a racist asshole. There's something really wrong with this guy.
He's always been off. And you know, it's funny when it happens with women, we're like, oh, they're mentally ill. And, Britney Spears will sit there and they will totally weaponize it against her. But I'm like, are we looking into Alec Baldwin's mental health? Because I think maybe there's been issues for years. Well, and you have to remember that awful voicemail to his daughter, Ireland, back in the day.
Rude, thoughtless little pig. Can you imagine if I ever called Alex a rude, thoughtless little pig, how much longer I'd be breathing?
Well, she was between the ages of like 10 and 12.
Yeah,
she was. Queen. Yeah. It was a horrific message. And I mean, for Ireland, she has to live with that. I think she's okay, but it's still like, why did my dad do that?
Oh, no. There's a little hoodlum in here.
He's got a cutie patootie.
Say hi to everybody. Wave hi. Hey, do what I tell you, kid. Don't make me suck. Boo. All right. So we're just talking Hollywood. You want to talk some Hollywood, Ethan? No?
Yeah, no. He's like, get this girl off the screen.
Get her off the screen.
Take the Hollywood hook.
That's all there is to it. That's probably got to be a little weird. You go to your grandpa. Oh, you're pretty happy to be on camera, are you? Oh, and now they let the dog in too. So yes, I guess it is time to. Oh, don't be stealing my pen.
Kristyn, real quick, there's a Dennis Rodman movie, 48 Hours in Vegas, about his kind of infamous trip that was coming out. Jonathan Majors was in it, but I saw he got dropped from it. It's their kind of his case, I would say, is kind of a more remarkable fall from he was super, on the way up, and now after his whole scandal is kind of out of Hollywood essentially.
Yeah, he's been dropped by his publicity team, one of the major Hollywood agents, and Marvel has nothing to do with him. And once that conviction came down, Marvel was like, okay, we're officially out. I think they just waited to the outcome of the court case. But yeah, he was expected to do this Dennis Rodman film, and it sets them back too. But he really took a huge fall because the rise was so fast and the fall was just as quick. And they, a lot, you could really tell that a lot of people in Hollywood were like, we're not messing with this. It's just too awful. And I know that there's been some debate about the ex-girlfriend and things like that, but once the court sits there and makes a judgment on it, I think everyone's like, okay, we got to wash our hands with this.
Yeah.
Ethan wants you to know there are buttons in front of him, and he wants to know what they're for. He wants to know. Can you wave bye-bye? Can you wave bye-bye?
Bye. That was really cute.
We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to North American Banking Company, nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. The family show begins in about 15 minutes.